Let's talk about Duck Dynasty. Phil Robertson is one of the stars of this reality type show on A&E called Duck Dynasty. He's been put on an indefinite suspension by the network following criticism of a number of anti-gay, criticism of gay people. I don't know how else to say it, as well as some racist remarks he made during an interview with GQ. Some of the things he said are, for example, referring to homosexuality as sin, equating it with bestiality, calling gay sex illogical. Here's a quote. "It seems to me a vagina as a man would be more desirable than a man's anus. That's just me. I'm just thinking there's more there. She's got more to offer. I mean, come on, dudes. You know what I'm saying? But hey, sin, it's not logical, my man. It's just not logical." And when asked, well, what exactly is sinful, Phil? He says, start with homosexual behavior and just morph out from there. Bestiality, sleeping around with this woman and that woman and that woman and these men. Then he paraphrases Corinthians, saying, don't be deceived. Neither the adulterers, the idolaters, the male prostitutes, the homosexual offenders, the greedy, the drunkards, the slanderers, the swindlers, they won't inherit the kingdom of God, Lewis. Don't deceive yourself. It's not right. Very offensive, clearly a bigot. And first and foremost, let's get this out of the way. If anyone is shocked, surprised, or appalled that a guy who's in a show that is basically premised on being a group of T-billies is anti-gay and racist, if that surprises you, I don't know. You're going to be surprised by a great many things in this life, Lewis.
Yeah, that I think most people would have assumed that someone like him would have these views. Just watching 5 minutes of the show, but whatever.
Yes, and 5 minutes was more than I was able to get through the one time I came across the show. So then we get into the First Amendment issue. His First Amendment rights are being violated. He has a right to free speech. No. How many times are we going to do this idiotic charade? The First Amendment is related to the government abridging, silencing, or limiting the speech of people. This is A&E, a for-profit company working in the supposed free market to make as much money as possible, deciding that Phil Robertson is bad for their checkbook and they're getting rid of him. Nobody prevented him from saying whatever he wanted to. He can continue to say whatever he wants to. He simply won't be collecting a paycheck from A&E because his bigoted nonsense was bad for business. Why can't people understand this simple thing about free speech, Lewis? It is concerning. It's disgusting.
I think it's one of those situations where if this were a liberal who got fired from MSNBC
right,
for saying something,
like, I don't know, Martin Bashir, who resigned, and Sarah Palin thought it was the right thing in that case.
Right. It's all situational. It's one of their people. So people on the right are going nuts, saying it's a violation of the First Amendment. And if it were the other way around, it would probably be the opposite opinion.
And let me be absolutely clear. A&E is no big hero here. A&E decided to hire Phil Robertson because they thought it would be profitable. And they've decided to indefinitely suspend Phil Robertson because they worry that having him on will reduce profits. This is pure capitalism, Lewis. That is all this is. Nobody's First Amendment rights have been violated. A&E is no hero that we should be congratulating for anything. They're making business decisions. They're glad to have bigoted T-billies on their channel as long as they keep the bigotry low enough so they can still make money. And now it simply has become unpalatable to them. That's it. I'm not patting A&E on the back for anything they've done here.
No, not at all. Of course, it's a business decision, and this is all. Of course, this all just fits in the realm of crap TV that neither one of us really likes. But
absolutely.
Yeah, you can't blame them for making this decision. It is the right decision.
And there are conservatives, we'll get to some of their comments, saying that this is evidence that Christian values are being marginalized and discriminated against. Listen, if we look at the primary agent identities in the United States, being white is at the top of the list. Being male is at the top of the list. But subsequent to those, being Christian is a primary agent identity in the United States. This is not about marginalizing or discriminating against Christian values. It is simply that your so-called Christian values do not work as an excuse or as a mitigator when it comes to flat out bigotry. And for-profit businesses don't care. They want to protect their bottom line, and that's what A&E is doing here.